Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bendy, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, body, and spirit. I am so excited about today's video. I think that it is a video I had in mind ever since I started this entire journey, and it is a how I manifested my dream apartment video. I grew up in New York, so I always idolized, having a nice apartment. I know a lot of people like having homes and yard space, and I think having a home is beautiful. But for me, I have always, oh, my kitty. For me, I have always wanted, hey, yeah, I got my cat, got my baby. But yeah, I think is this gonna be possible? Am I gonna be able to make this video? I hope so. Let's keep pushing through. Okay, so I've always idolized having an apartment just because I guess the minimal aspect of it. I never wanted to have too big of a space so I can accumulate too much stuff. And I always wanted a place that was full of light, full of love, and decorated. And yeah, I feel like I manifested just that for myself. Also, as a content creator, I wanted a place that would look nice on camera, because if it didn't, I would be aggravated every time I was editing about the frame of the picture and how I'm not happy with how it looks. So I manifested that for myself as well. Yeah, see, I'm already rambling because I'm petting my cat. So let's get into how this happened, okay? So first I want to talk about my previous situation. So before the place that I live now, I can say that I've never lived in an apartment or a house that really was up to the standard of living that I wanted for myself. The last two places that I've lived in, the last two places that you've seen me in, were not functional. The landlord was, my mom calls him a slumlord, but the landlord was not very, he didn't take care of his property. So the house I was in before, it was a manifestation. It was better than the place I was in before that. But the house I was in before, it didn't have any heat, didn't have any air, which was really hard in the summer. We had to use space heaters, so like we had like $400 electric bills every month, which was just crazy. Yeah, and then there was just like outlets in the place didn't work. It wasn't in a very good area, so I didn't feel super safe. And then the place before that was even worse. We moved into both houses with bug infestations, and my husband and I, because my mom was a landlord in New York, I have a lot of experience getting rid of vermin and bugs and things. So my husband and I had to manually exterminate these places ourselves. Just not good situations. And I manifested those places after living with my mom. So it definitely was a come up. As my sister says, I need to get my sister to start her own law of attraction channel, because she's better at manifesting than me. Like, this girl, her brain. But anyway, my sister always says you have to start somewhere, and she's completely right. A lot of us, when we start learning that we can turn our lives into exactly what we want to turn our lives into, we want to get everything tomorrow. But I'm going to start saying this a lot more. If you knew how to get what you wanted, you would already have it. So we have to go through the journey to get that big manifestation that we want. And along this journey, we need to be paying attention to what we are manifesting, because it tells us a lot about ourselves. And the past things that I manifested showed me my worthiness. They were a reflection of my worthiness. Throughout living in these different places, I spent a lot of time learning how I wanted my vibration to feel, learning my preferred vibration. And I learned this through reading and watching a lot of different YouTube videos. By studying how to raise my vibration, I was able to attract different living situations that were still reflections of my worthiness. So as my worthiness was rising, I was attracting different homes. Now I'd like to talk about the push that I needed to get me from a home that was almost what I wanted to manifest all the way into my absolute desire, my fulfilling my manifestation. Let's talk about the push that I needed. So what inspired me to look for another apartment while being at the last house was my husband had tried to contact our landlord because one of the space heaters broke, and the landlord like went off on my husband, and he was just like, what happened to the space heater I bought you guys, blah 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 blah. He accused us of different things over a space heater. Mind you, we live in a house with no working, like no central air, no like radiators, nothing. Like we're using space heaters. And if we were still there, we would have had to use air conditioners over the summer. So, the violent way that the landlord had talked to my husband, I had never noticed it before. I'd never seen this from our landlord before. So that was I knew enough at that point to be like, this is not a part of my vibration. This is not something I want in my life experience. I gotta go. Now, that being said, I should have made that decision a long time ago, because the first time we moved into one of this man's properties where there was a bug infestation, I should have known that the second property that I moved into, there would be a bug infestation, right? So I should have made this decision a lot earlier, but we all have our own journey. So I started looking for another apartment, and I found an apartment that was fine. It was better. And I wanted to live in an apartment because I didn't want a landlord anymore. I wanted someone who was being held accountable for their actions, which if you live in an apartment complex, you know, they can't just make decisions, do what they want. They actually abide by the lease. And that's what I needed. I needed that structure. So I looked for an apartment, and it was fine. And we got approved for it. Now, being approved for that apartment was a part of the push that I needed. It gave me confidence, which was very important. It was a stepping stone for me. This wasn't my dream apartment, but it was a nice apartment, and it was way better than anywhere I had lived before. Because of my decisions in the past and my husband's decisions in the past, sometimes we are not looked at as good candidates for certain apartments. And that was a lot of the anxiety that I had about applying for a place that I felt that I would truly be worthy of. So after I was accepted to this first apartment, I was like, okay, more confidence. So we say we're going to move into this first apartment. Time's going on. My little sister got approved for another apartment in another complex about 10 minutes away from where I was approved. So I looked at the website of her place, and I was telling her, I was like, oh, Chris, her name's Crystal. I was like, oh, Chris, this is so nice. I love it so much. It's so nice. And she just looks at me and she was like, well, why didn't you apply here? And I made all these excuses. Like, oh, it's not in the part of town I want to be in, XYZ. I made all these excuses. And then time went by, a couple days went by, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I could apply. So my sister came over to the house again. We were hanging out, and I was like sitting with her, because my sister, whenever I'm with her, I just want to be better. We make each other better. And I was sitting with her, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply. And the next 2 hours was just, oh my God, all the subconscious beliefs coming up, all the non-serving beliefs coming up, everything coming up. Like I wasn't breathing. I was so nervous. Me and Adam, we were entering our information, and I was just, I was so nervous. But I submitted the application. We called the office because something on the application was like, we can't process this. You know, you need to contact the office. And immediately my brain was like, you're not going to get approved. You should have known you weren't going to get approved. You wasted your time. You wasted the money to apply for this, XYZ. And I heard the story in my head, and I was like, okay, if these are the thoughts that I'm having right now, I'm not manifesting this apartment. I'm manifesting not getting this apartment. So I truly believe, long story short, I applied on a Thursday. I didn't talk to anyone until Tuesday. I truly believe that the universe put different things in the way of the management reviewing my application and the management calling us back so that I could get my mind together. Because once I realized that I was having these thoughts that were not manifesting what I wanted, y'all, I went in on the techniques. Let's talk about it. So once I realized that I was not having I was not holding the internal energy of what it would take to manifest this apartment. I was like, I need to get into my spirituality because I can't make this happen through sheer effort. I have to make it happen internally, right? So the first thing I did was tons and tons and tons of scripting. So I know that God has things planned for me. I know that God wants good things for me. I know the only person standing in the way of anything is me and my own thought process. So I was scripting over and over. And you know what? Let me just get my journal. So I have some scripting as far as like imagining when Adam and I got our welcome letter. Oh, I didn't even read this. Wow. This is crazy. I did a lot of gratitude lists, lots of gratitude lists to raise my vibration, lots of gratitude lists. And I did a lot of YouTube manifesting, actually. That's interesting because I'm starting to manifest a lot with YouTube right now. That's so interesting. So I did a lot of mental focusing on the person that I wanted to be. So I scripted about how everything is working out best case scenario. I scripted about how I am grateful for the success that I'm having in my career. And then I did a lot of scripting exercises, more so talking about how Adam and I felt the moment after we were accepted. The 10-minute ago technique, which is just going crazy on the channel. Crazy. I love you guys. Hi, new people. And yeah, so a lot of scripting, a lot of time sitting and writing, because writing helps you get out of your head. It helps you stop questioning the thoughts that you're trying to focus on. So when you're writing, you can focus on raising your vibration instead of just like sitting there and trying to think positive and all the other thoughts start coming and distracting you. So scripting, affirmations, and visualizations. That's pretty much what I did from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days. That's it. And if I was listening to music, I listened to a lot of Queen Irby. I love her. Her music is amazing for manifesting because her lyrics are all about a come up. And I think that that's very, very healthy. I cut out any music that was not in alignment with what I was trying to feel. I did not have time. I did not talk to certain people. I just focused on holding the vibration that I have learned to cultivate over the past 3 years. Because if you are on your journey, when you script, when you're reading, when you're learning about raising your vibration, you may learn what the vibration you want feels like, and you may learn to hold that for a few seconds, but because of the thoughts, you can only hold it for a few seconds. So the more that you meditate and the more that you work, the longer you can hold that vibration. So I've been learning about my preferred vibration for the past 3 years. The 5 days that it took me to manifest this apartment, that's all I had time for. If I felt my vibration go down, I was like, it's time to do something else. It's time to do something else. And I cut out everything. And you know it's Corona time. I cut out everything that did not align with me manifesting this apartment. Lo and behold, Tuesday, I was told that we were accepted. So I'd like to really quickly talk about the quantum jump that occurred when I moved into my apartment, or the day before I moved into my apartment. The day before I moved into... Why? The day before I moved into my apartment, my little sister came over and we were packing, and it was just beautiful. It was just, I remember being so happy. And you guys, a lot of you are new, so you don't know about my past or my childhood. I had an amazing childhood. I had an amazing past. I have so many good experiences, but there was a lot of darkness in my past, and I've dealt with a lot of anxiety in my life. And when we were packing, I just realized I didn't feel any anxiety, and I have not felt any anxiety in a long time. look, hey, mental illness comes and goes. So I'm not saying I'm cured of anxiety, okay? So, but I'm just saying I have not felt it in the past week, which light as a feather. I feel light as a feather, and I've never felt this way before, but I don't intend on letting it go. But anyway, when I was packing with my sister and my husband, I just remember realizing like, this is one of the first wholesome memories that I've ever created. I'm 27 years old, and this is one of the first times that I'm doing something with people I love, and there's no thoughts or energy weighing me down, ruining this for me. Like, I'm happy. And when I realized that, it was like, like, next day we moved into the apartment, and like, my reality is just different. And I think that something that is so important to realize is that your contrast is what actually teaches you how to manifest. I lived in these, there's no better word to say it. I lived in these shitty apartments for years. I lived in these places that I had no business being, right? And when I was younger, when I lived with my mom, you know, I never lived in a bad area. We lived relatively well, and I don't think I knew the value of that. So after I moved out the house and I lived in these unkempt properties, I don't think I understood that that is a reflection of how much you value yourself and your peace. Like, if you live in a place with a bug infestation, you don't have peace. If you live in a place where like your neighbors are yelling at you and banging on your door to harass you, you don't have peace. And where you live determines how much you value your peace. And it does not have to be an expensive place. But I didn't understand the effort that I should have been putting in to make sure that I was living somewhere where I would be able to monitor my energy. So by living in these places that showed me what I did not want, I was able to create an understanding of what I did not want. So now when the time came to manifest what I did want, I had an understanding of the energy that I was moving towards. That is why contrast is so important. You don't know what happiness is until you really feel depression. You don't know how good it feels to make money until you've been really, really broke. Contrast is so important. And the contrast that I went through was such a huge part of my quantum jump into this new reality, into this amazing place. I am so happy. All right, you guys, I have been talking your ears off for about 20 minutes now. I hope that this video inspired you to keep on manifesting, keep on focusing on raising your vibration and attracting all of the things into your life that you know that you are worthy of. Before we leave, I want to quickly read comment of the week, which is by the lovely and beautiful Monica Johnson. Hey girl. Her comment reads, "Thank you so much. I love your vibe, and yes, I agree with doing things that will shift and raise your vibration works wonders, especially during these days of quarantine. I start my days with meditation, and I must say it helps to set the tone of my mental muscle when I tell myself everything is always working out for me. Words spoken via Abraham Hicks, and I really feel it. There's a sense of peace. I love your videos and look forward to viewing more." I love you, Monica, and Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks, man. If you do not know who Abraham Hicks is, pick up a copy of Ask and It Is Given. That book changed my life. It changed my life. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for sticking around the whole time. If you did stick around the whole time, leave a comment down below with a little heart in it, because I'm just curious to know who stuck around to hear the whole spiel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that people know that it is valuable and that they should watch it. Also, if you'd like me to expand on anything that I talked about in this video, leave a comment down below and I will be happy to. Last but not least, please make sure that you're subscribed and that you click the notification bell so that you can be notified when I have a new video. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.